Hey, Jonathan Tapp here, co-founder of Learn More Parkour and creator of this free training series over how to do parkour. So how do you run up walls? How do you take high impact drops? And how do you learn all the basic movements to parkour so you can fly through your environment and catch or outrun anyone on foot? I'm sure you've seen the stuntmen in movies and TV shows during the epic chase scenes where they're vaulting over rails, they're running up walls, and taking these huge drops. So how do you do that in real life? Well, in this video training series, I'm going to be showing you the system to learning all the basic movements to parkour. I'm going to show you the technique to running up 8-foot walls. And I'm also going to show you the secret to taking drops up to 10 feet with the same amount of impact as a normal person doing a jumping jack. So in this first video, what I'm going to be doing is walking you through the 5 simple steps to learning all the basic parkour movements quickly and easily, and then how to progress with them once you learn them. And after years of doing this, what I can tell you is that a lot of people get overwhelmed when you tell them they're going to be running up walls and taking these high impact drops. Because a lot of people think that they're going to be doing these huge extreme jumps and at these extreme levels when they're first starting out, and that's just not the case. You're going to be learning these moves just like you learned everything else. You're going to be learning these moves just like you learned how to ride a bike. It's a small, gradual process. When you first learned how to ride a bike, you didn't just start off riding a bike. You start off with training wheels, and then you worked up to someone assisting you, and then you worked up to riding the bike by yourself. So it was a slow, gradual process. And if you agree with me on that, then all we have to do is show you a system for taking these extreme moves and then breaking them down into something easier and more comfortable for you, and then show you a way to progress with them rapidly. And that's what this system's going to do. It's going to be a vehicle for you to learn these basic parkour movements quickly and easily. I learned this when I first discovered parkour. My brother and I were sitting at home one summer, bored on the computer, and we'd always participate in the regular sports. We played soccer, played basketball, ran track, but we never found something that we fell in love with. And we were always fascinated with acrobatics and stunts, things like that, but we never got into it. So when we stumbled across a parkour video online, we knew we had to do it. But there was a problem. We didn't have a gymnastics background. We didn't have a background in martial arts. When we tried to find someone to teach us, we couldn't find anyone. And when we searched online, we came up with small tutorials and things like that, but nothing in detail and certainly not a system. So I'm sure you can relate to a lot of this. Maybe a friend told you about parkour. Maybe you saw it on TV. Or maybe like us, you saw a video on YouTube or online. And then you searched up online to look up stuff on how to learn parkour, and you probably came up with the same results. Not much. So my brother and I actually, what we had to do was analyze other people's videos, watch their movements, and then test them outside. So it was a big trial and error process. A lot of things worked and a lot of things didn't. But we eventually found techniques and systems after research and testing them out that worked and worked really well. And so we got really into it, and once we got involved in philosophy and training a lot, we quickly became addicted to parkour. And soon after that, our skill rapidly increased. And then 2 years later, we got our first TV commercial. So we took our hobby and something that we loved and turned it into our career. Eventually, we just kept building our career, and now that's all we do. We do commercials, we do international commercials, we do live shows, we consult with businesses on parkour, and we teach people all around the world. We teach people in Malaysia, we teach people in Germany, we teach people in Australia, and we teach people here in the US. So it's really made a big impact on my brother and I's life. And I guarantee that if you start training parkour, you get into the philosophy, that it will make a big difference in your life as well. So once you start to train, you understand the philosophy, you start overcoming obstacles physically, then you'll realize that a lot of these principles pertain to everything else. You'll start overcoming obstacles and accomplishing goals in other areas of your life as well. So parkour will develop you physically as well as mentally, and it will change the way you look at the world. You can ask any trade store of this who's been doing it for a while, I'll tell you the same thing. And a lot of my friends who were on drugs or really weren't headed in the direction they wanted to go in their life, they started training and then they absorbed the philosophy and they totally turned around. So if you stick with it, you train, parkour can really make a big impact on your life. And the good thing about parkour is that you don't have to be some extreme athlete to do parkour. You know, I've taught people as young as 5 to up in their 60s. And I've taught people who thought they were too skinny or too unathletic to do parkour. And I've taught people who thought they were too overweight or too out of shape to do parkour, and they've gotten into it. And that's a good thing about this learning system I'm going to show you, is that that's what it's really all about, showing you how to start at whatever level you are, at whatever background you have, and then continually progress from that point. So anyone can really get started in parkour. So let's just go ahead and dive in, and let's go to my whiteboard. I'm going to show you the simple 5-step system for learning all the basic movements. Alright, so we're in front of my whiteboard now, and we're about to go over the 5 simple steps for learning your parkour moves, as well as developing them and progressing with them as you train. So if you follow this system, you'll notice a lot of the fear associated with trying the new moves will go away. You will continue to build the coordination physically for the moves, as well as drill these moves mentally into your brain. So you'll learn these moves quickly and easily and continue to develop and progress with these moves. If you don't follow a system like this, you might start off at a level you're not comfortable with, or you might rush into a move that can lead to injury. You could cause yourself to develop mental blocks, which can keep you from learning the move, or take you 3 times as long to learn the move. You could actually even start off with so much fear for the move that you don't even try it at all. And if you don't follow a system like this, you could learn one move one day and then not have it down the next, or be stuck in what I like to call the gray zone, where you might have the move down, but you never progress with it, or you never take it to the next level. So you want to avoid those things, and that's what we're going to do with this system. We're going to teach you how to learn the moves quickly and easily, and then develop and progress with these moves as you train. Obviously, you're going to have to learn the correct form and technique to learn this move. This is the most important step of them all, because if you don't get this one right, you're not going to get the rest of them right either. You want to learn the correct form and technique so you don't develop poor habits or injure yourself from the beginning. So make sure you figure out what your body needs to do to perform this move correctly. Alright, so we're going to start off in a low-to-ground, safe environment with an area that you're comfortable with an obstacle that you're comfortable with, and starting off with a move that you're confident in. You may not be starting out with the full-out movement. You might just start off with a motion that mimics the full movement that's easier for you to do, depending on what level you are. So you want to do this so it takes away the fear of trying the move, and you can focus purely on developing the coordination and drilling the movement into your mind. So for example, with the Kong ball, you may do a motion like this to easily and gradually go into the full Kong movement. Now, this step is very crucial for getting rid of the fear and learning the movement so you get it down quickly. Okay, so once you find a movement that you're comfortable with and you're in your comfort zone, you're going to start drilling and repeating this movement. So, depending on what it is, you may do, for instance, I do 3 sets of 25 for my vaults. But if you're doing something really easy, say rolling on the ground, then you may want to do 3 sets of 50. And this all just depends on your level and what you're comfortable with. You want to do what your body can handle. So just listen to your body on these and what your training session is calling for. Alright, so what we're going to do is drill these movements until we get 100% confident with them. We drill them to where we build coordination for them with our bodies and then drill them into our brains. So once we are 100% confident in that movement, now this may take one day, it may take a few days, it may take a few weeks, and it may take a few months. This just depends on your level and how you progress. So once you're 100% confident in that motion, that's when we go to the next step. Alright, now that we've drilled this move in our comfort zone, we're 100% confident with it, it's time to push it to the next level, to a little more difficult level, and we're going to push this outside of our comfort zone. So that means that you're going to push this to a level that you're a little bit afraid of at first. Now, this is something that you know that you can physically do, but you're just a little afraid at first because you might fail on it, you might mess up on it the first few times. You don't want to do it if it's something that you look at and you realize, wait, I can't physically do this. You want it to be something that you look at and say, yeah, I can physically do that, but I don't know, maybe I might fall on it, or I might mess up on it the first few times, but I know I can physically do this. And you also want to make sure that you can physically do it, and you know you can do it without injuring yourself pretty badly. If you look at it and you say, oh wow, I could end up injuring myself pretty badly on this, then you don't want to do it. You want to make sure that you're at a level and moving up to a level that you can get to without injuring yourself too bad. So a few bruises, a few scrapes, that's fine. But you don't want to end up breaking a leg or anything more serious than that. So just think about that when you're pushing to the next level. You want to go up a level, but not too high of a level where you could injure yourself. So once you find this area, you want to just go and try it. Just do it. You're going to push outside your comfort zone and just go for it. And this is how we're going to progress. Once you go for it, this is where you're going to be learning. This is where you're going to be pushing and progressing this move. Alright, now we're on the final step, and all this is once you get out of your comfort zone, what you're going to do is now take that movement and do what you did before and just drill that movement. You're going to drill that movement until it becomes comfortable for you. Then once it becomes comfortable for you, which it will after time of drilling it, then what you're going to do is do the same thing. You're going to push up to the next level. You're going to push a little bit outside of that new comfort zone that you just got. So you're going to push outside, and then once you get outside again, you're going to drill at that level. And then once you get comfortable at that level, you're going to push up to the next level. And it's just an ongoing cycle. So you're constantly in your comfort zone, then you push outside of it, you drill until that level is then comfortable, and then you push outside again, and it's just an ongoing cycle of progression. And that's what you want. This is the key for continually growing in parkour. Okay, so those were the 5 simple steps. You learn the technique and form, you start off small in your comfort zone, you drill that, then you start to go outside your comfort zone, then you drill that and continue the cycle over and over again. And so if you start using this system, you'll notice that you'll take away a lot of the fear, you'll learn these moves quickly and easily, and you'll continually progress with these parkour movements. So start using this system when you're learning these moves we're about to go over.